Good day, everyone. This is Pine Leaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Greetings, everybody.
Hello, Drac. How are everything's going out in Ravenloft?
It is going rather well, actually.
Ooh, why, is somebody interested in bringing it to DDO?
They are, Pine Leaf. If you listened to the show last week, which was our 100th show, by the way, if you didn't realize that, but I'm sure you people are so astute, you already realized that we had Community Manager Cordovan on last week, and he did say they are interested in bringing Ravenloft to DDO.
Ooh.
Hallelujah! 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 Hallelujah!
Of course, now we just need for it to actually happen.
Yeah, exactly. And when might that happen? We're not sure. To quote Community Manager Cordovan, he did say, "We are very interested in bringing Ravenloft to DDO. It's not so much a matter of if as it is a matter of when." So it is a plan that we are absolutely pursuing at this point to go into Ravenloft. And then he did say, stay tuned for more information, which we should know probably soonish, trademark, when a producer's letter is out within the next few weeks. So we'll know a little more then. But other than that, it's on the table at least. So heck yeah, we're going to Ravenloft.
All right, now that we know that someday in the future we'll be going to Ravenloft, the question is, when will we be going against the slave lords?
That would be 8 a.m. tomorrow, because there is downtime for Update 32 against the slave lords. Servers are going to be taken down 8 a.m. Eastern, and the downtime is scheduled until noon Eastern. Of course, give them some leeway. Usually they're back up by noon, but if they run into problems, this is a pretty big update. So we'll see. Just stay tuned to their social medias, Twitter, Facebook, all of that to get some information. But as of right now, at noon Eastern tomorrow, we will be heading into Update 32 and going against those slave lords.
In addition to going against the slave lords, of course, we will also be getting the update to Caneth Crafting. So, are we going to go into any details as to what the update has? The release notes are out.
Yeah, which I'm actually surprised. And kudos to Turbine for actually getting the release notes out before the day of the patch. That is pretty amazing. It's almost as if they had them ready to go.
Ooh.
Or did I just spoil the magic there? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is of course, in Update 32, the two big things are the 3 against the slave lords quest, and of course the Caneth Crafting update, which we have talked about. There is a guide that you can go over, and I will link in the show notes to the new guide that they do have up that will tell you what is new for crafting. Once again, it is well established. I'm not a crafter, don't really give two craps about crafting, but this might have me intrigued. So I might actually dip the old toe into the crafting waters. We'll see.
We will see.
We will see, of course. And then there is some other things in the release notes for the update, and that is players will now earn their proper rewards after 5,000 favor, which players have been clamoring for that for a while, so look for that. And also, we did kind of talk about these last week because we talked about the Lamania notes, but these are the official notes, and these will be in there. Light, medium, and heavy armor found in randomly generated loot can now appear with many appearances that did exist prior to the removal in Update 14. As a result, the number of visual possibilities on randomly generated armor has greatly increased. And that is awesome because more armor appearances is always good because some of the armor was getting very stale. And then one thing that has my Wolflock excited is hide armor is once again going to appear in randomly generated loot. So all you druids out there, maybe you'll find some medium armor in the loot table now when you get some random loot.
It gives Wolflocks now a reason to take the medium armor attribute, which I think is something that's up in the Warlock tree, but I suspect that Wolflocks haven't been taking it.
It does, but the biggest thing why I'm excited about it is I can finally equip my wolf with some decent armor.
Ah.
Because right now, I forgot what my poor little wolf is wearing, but it's pretty much crap armor. So medium armor, always good, because that will be able to be equipped by your druid wolf pets, which is a bonus.
Right, and I think there might be one or two lights that might be also decent, but not for druids.
Yeah, exactly.
Not for druids.
And then the other big thing that I think a lot of people are excited about is the randomly generated weapons will now generate either a martial or a caster effect on the given item, and that is in the random loot table as well. So hallelujah, amen to that. Because maybe I'll actually stop getting longswords that are all spell caster stuff that I really don't need one on a caster. I need that on my rogue or my ranger, but not my caster. So now I got my wish. And I know Cordovan last week did say that, and I was on the forums today a little bit, and this is still like dividing the community. There is still some people that are really upset that they're doing this because people that, did like some weird like 3 splash builds or something are really upset that they're doing this change. So, and as I said last week, I really am, and I am very sincere when I say this. I am so sorry you people are upset, but this needed to be done. I'm sorry. The random loot table was just out of control it's like everything was like spell related. So, but if you have a weird build, sorry, I really am. But maybe you can like craft your weapon in the new crafting system now. So.
All right. Anything else you find that is?
Not really, because we kind of talked about these last week. Not much have changed, really. I will link these in the show notes, so you can go take a look at these. But the big thing is the Kenneth Crafting update, and of course the 3 new quests. So tomorrow will be Against the Slave Lords, and update 32.
See, there is now a quest panel tab for Hall of Heroes classics, including Slave Lords and Elemental Evil.
Yeah, that's something I never understood why they didn't do in the first place. So yeah, if you look in your quest log, there's actually just a heading for Hall of Heroes, and then under there, that's where you'll find the Elemental Evil quest, and then the new Against the Slave Lords, which you will find the Slave Lords quest in the Hall of Heroes. And it is by the Temple of Elemental Evil, but now I don't know what they're going to do on live. I know on Lamania, when I went on the second Lamania build, the quest givers for both Elemental Evil and Against the Slave Lords were moved. They are not where they originally were, because I ran over there thinking, oh, that's probably where they're going to be. They're going to be by the temple. And I'm like,
Where's the temple?
What did they do with the entrance to the temple? It is not here anymore. It's kind of in the middle of the Hall of Heroes now, if that makes sense. What you can do to find it easy, though, is once you go into the Hall of Heroes, open up your map, and you should see the icons for the quest, and you can find it. But it's basically in the middle of the Hall of Heroes. I'm assuming they'll do that on live. I guess we'll find out tomorrow. But just so you're not shocked, Elemental Evil just went up and moved itself. So it's in the middle of the Hall of Heroes now. And that's where you'll find me Against the Slave Lords. They're kind of standing side by side.
All right. Now, any hint of the location given on the preview video that they made?
They did not, because Cordovan was doing his sneaky jump around stuff that he can do with his commands on the videos. You didn't see it in the video. And the video, if you do want to watch this video to get yourself all hyped up and ready for the release tomorrow, it is spoiler free. The video is about 42 minutes long or something like that, I think. It was spoiler free. They showed you some of the quest. Not a lot of it. He basically just stepped in and showed you a little bit. The devs that did the quest a while, and they were talking about it, and they showed you the Kenneth Crafting update. So if you're worried about spoilers, you will not find them in the update video unless you don't want to see any of the quest. But he basically only runs through about a minute or two of each quest, so you really don't see a lot.
All right, then let's head into the named item guide, which is now available. And this is a list of all the nice trinkets you'll find in Against the Slave Lords?
Yep, it's just like they do every time we get some new quests with some new updates. And we have the Breaker of Bodies, which is a shield.
That must be a pretty big shield if it's got a name like that.
It is actually. It looks like it's using the Demon Slab. If you know what the Demon Slab shield looks like, I do believe that is the very same cosmetic look, just changed a little bit on that. There is the Executioner's Docent, which has some pretty decent stats if you wear docents. I personally don't because I don't have anything that would.
Yes, the only ones that would, of course, I think, are the Warforged. Anyone else would wear them? I mean, except, of course, for the dogs.
Right, yeah, I'm going to say your dogs are a Warforged. There is an Executioner's Helm, which is a pretty sweet-looking, like, winged helmet. So if you're into the helmet look. And then we have something new to DDO, Pine Leaf. It took 10 years to happen.
What?
We have a shirtless male armor now.
What?
There is some armor called the Slave Rags, and if you look at it, it looks pretty much like a gladiator's outfit. And this is the first time that the males in the game will be able to be shirtless. The females are a little more modest. There's not a lot of coverage there, but there's coverage up top, just not in the middle. But yes, 10 years it took to get some shirtless cosmetics, and we now have it finally.
Oh, fun.
And I can tell you're just really excited about that. And then there's the Slave Master Staff, which is some pretty decent stuff. So overall, there is some good stuff. I am definitely going to want to try to get a set of the Slave Rags armor just so I can glamour them, because I kind of do like the look of the armor. I just wish it wasn't brown, but I guess that makes sense since it's technically slave rags, so it's not going to be colorful.
Well, if you want something really not colorful, you could have tried the rags you start out with at Korthos.
Which I actually have a character that still has those on, actually.
Ah.
And Black Bear Feet in the chat is saying, yay, shirtless dwarves for everyone. No. There will be no shirtless dwarves. That is not allowed.
Oh, no, not shirtless dwarves.
Nobody needs shirtless dwarves at all.
Let's head to the Chronicle. And, oh, my goodness gracious, that's a beholder.
That is a beholder. That is a nasty-looking beholder with some nasty-looking teeth. In the community spotlights of our Chronicle this week, we got a shout-out for our 100th episode of DDO Players News last week, so thank you very much for the Chronicle for doing that, and of course, thank you for Community Manager Cordovan and Body View for coming on the show last week. It was a great show. I heard from a couple people, they said that was probably one of our better shows yet so far. They really enjoyed it, and they said we all had good chemistry, and it was just a fun listen, so yay for us.
All right, now DDO cast, they debated tieflings, kobolds, and psionics. I'm trying to think, what do those three subjects have in common that they would all be put together in the same episode?
Nothing. It was just 3 different debate questions that they did.
Okay.
The tieflings, they were debating if they should have tails and horns.
Okay.
Then kobolds, they were debating if kobolds should be a player race or not. And then psionics was just should psionics be brought into the game.
Ah.
And that episode is now out for you to listen to. The damsels of DDO were cuddling some giants in the giant hold.
Cuddling giants?
As only the damsels can. You'll just have to listen to find out how they cuddled some giants, finally. And speaking of DDO cast, Patrick is looking for some show ideas. So if you have any ideas for maybe a debate episode or a topic you would like to hear on the show, anything of the sort, hop over onto the forum thread that Patrick started and give him some ideas. He is looking to not really expand the show, but he's looking for some new topics for the show. So if you have any ideas, now is your time to speak. So head over and help Patrick out with some ideas.
Okay.
And then the other thing in the fan site news section of our Chronicle this week is City offers an in-depth guide to playing a Deepwood Stalker. He has a Deepwood Stalker build that I think I might actually try out because I like the build that he did. So click over and check out City's Deepwood Stalker and see if maybe you want to do it yourself.
Now, I do have a question, though.
Okay.
29 lives?
Oh, for
Grim or...
Grim, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's, 29th, and she's well on her way into her 30th almost. So, yeah.
How many lives do you need to do in order to do Completionist?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's 30 for The actual complete completionist, I think, is 30.
Oh, what do you have to do in order to get completionist if you need 30?
I don't know. I'm the wrong person. Bonnie, where are you at? Bonnie beat me. You should have asked this question last week because Bonnie could have told you.
Well, we didn't have this article last week, so I didn't think about it.
29 lives, that is like nothing for most people. I would say the average person has at least probably 12 lives at least.
Well, I'm well below average then.
You and me both, buddy. You and me both. So congratulations to Grim, though, for getting 29. That's awesome. But I don't know. Then the other thing in the Chronicle, of course, is our Chronicle comment, as we always have. If you had to guard your home with a DDO trap, what kind of trap would it be?
What kind of trap would it be? Oh, my, because I'm trying to... I wouldn't want anything with fire because it would burn down the house. Let's see. Fire. So, okay, DDO, you have fire, cold, bear traps, poison. Let's see. The sonic traps, lightning. I'm trying to think something that's not going to severely damage my home if I had a trap in here.
I guess that is a good thing to think about. The integrity of your house would be probably important when you're designing your trap for the would-be thief.
Right.
I had to say a blade trap.
Ouch.
That's what mine would be. Either that or maybe a poison trap. See, I actually have this cool idea for a trap that kind of ties into this, but I really don't want to say much because I know some of my players listen to the show, so I don't want to give this cool trap idea away that I have. But it does involve a door and it involves poison in some way, but that's all I'm going to say.
Oh, well.
So I might go with a poison trap too.
Oh, how about a teleportation trap that sends them to the police station?
Hey, there you go. There's some pine leaf logic for you.
And here we have Sevandios prepares for an oncoming storm in our 285th DDO screenshot of the week.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool screenshot.
And exactly where is Sev?
I do not know. I'm kind of thinking... This kind of looks like it's out in... And of course, now that I want to say the name, it's escaping me. I can't tell you. What is the name of that? It's out in the Vale of Twilight, I do believe.
All right. Well,
maybe.
It looks very Twilight-ish in clouds.
Yeah. Cool screenshot, though. I like that screenshot. And that's it for our Chronicle.
That's it for our Chronicle. Then let's head into our store sales. What's on sale this week?
There is 25% off Augments, the Jeweler's Toolkit, Select Cosmetics, Select Cosmetic Hats, Helms, and Headwear. The free sample of the week is the Elixir of Angel's Tears. You can get one of those when you use the coupon code DRINKUP, which is now working. If you tried to use it over the weekend, it said invalid code. Apparently somebody forgot to hit the okay, let's turn this code on button. But now that is fixed. Yes, and I did read that they are going to extend that code until the 17th now. So the DRINKUP code will now work till the 17th instead of the 15th because it was not working over the weekend.
All right. And we also have a couple extra posts here where Bonnie Bew made a condensed version of our little adventures for our first 99 episodes of our series.
Yes, and if you haven't listened to this, do yourself a favor. Take the 24 minutes and listen to this. It's pretty amazing what she did. She took little snippets from each show and put them all together from 1 to 99. And it's kind of funny just to hear the stuff out of context.
Yes.
It's really, really kind of funny. And it's also funny to count how many times that we say certain things.
Yeah.
Because I know I listen back to this and I was cracking up because I don't know how many times I say, oh, poor Pine Leaf. So listen to this. Bonnie did a great job at this. It's basically a little 1 to 99 view of what the heck happened on the last 99 episodes of DDO Players News.
And we also have a 100th episode giveaway where it looks like you had some swag to lend out.
Yes, we did talk about this last week, and the contest is in full swing as of now. You have until September 20th to enter, and this is we have 5 DDO 10th anniversary bags with the dice, of course, and also the winners of those are going to get the Drow Minis. That was a promo-only item for the Menace of the Underdark expansion, and then we also have the Grimtina's Guard books, which we have 5 of those to give away, and 5 digital Battle Bards codes. All you got to do is head over to our site. If you have not already, there is a post that is conveniently entitled DDO Players News Podcast 100th Episode Celebration Giveaway. That is an awesome title because that's exactly what it is. And then just click on the Rapplecopter link to whichever one you want. As of this recording right now, we have 7 days left. There is 106 entries into the dice bag giveaway. We have 51 entries into the Grimtina's Guards and 47 into the Battle Bards codes. So I would say that your odds are slowly diminishing as the days go by. Because we only have like 5 of each of these things, so good luck to anybody that wins. And then once again, the dice bags and the Grimtina's Guard books unfortunately have to be United States only. I know that upsets some people, but I am very sorry. Shipping is crazy, and we could not work it into the budget to ship overseas. So I am so sorry about that. Hopefully we'll get some more digital codes or something in the future that we can include for everybody. So I do apologize because I know I did get a couple like nasty emails that people were upset, but hopefully I calmed them down.
All right. Now let's see what's crawling in from the dungeon. And it looks like the first thing is a rather nasty demon.
Yes, Demigorgon. If you want to do, like me, if you're looking for that special monster that you want to do a total TPK with, the Demigorgon is the monster for you. What this is Newbie DM. If you're not familiar with him, go over to his blog. He does some great stuff for Dungeons & Dragons. And he decided to do the 5e stats for the Demigorgon that is featured in Stranger Things. If you're not familiar with Stranger Things, that is the new series on Netflix that I'm going to give a huge spoiler alert here. It's not really a spoiler alert, but it kind of is. So you've been warned, spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear this, skip ahead about maybe a minute. The Stranger Things show starts out with the kids in a basement playing Dungeons & Dragons. And what happens is the Demigorgon comes out, and then that's when the show starts. But that's all I'm going to say. Spoiler alert over. So, yeah.
So this is sort of a D&D type series on Netflix?
It's not. It's strange. It's hence the word Stranger Things.
Okay.
It's not really D&D based, but it is, but it isn't, if that makes sense. You like have to see the show to understand it. It starts out with them playing D&D and then with this Demigorgon, and then one of the kids disappears. But then other things happen, and they kind of weave D&D into everything that's going on. And the kids kind of use D&D to help search for their friend. And it's set in the 80s, so it's like super cool. It's awesome. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. But yeah, so it's not intentionally a D&D show, but D&D revolves around a lot of things that happen in the show.
Okay.
That's the easiest way I can describe it, I guess. But yes, Newbie DM over on his blog did do some stats for the Demigorgon, if you want to include the Demigorgon in your 5e game. It has 104 hit points. That's all I'm going to tell you. And the armor class is 17. If you want to see the complete list of the stats, just click over on Newbie site and check it out. But
only 104 hit points?
Only 104 hit points. I was surprised it didn't have more hit points than that.
That can't be a Demogorgon. That must be a lesser avatar of Demogorgon.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it only has 104 hit points, but the thing is just nasty. It does some nasty stuff. So any of my players that are listening, you might get to meet Mr. Demigorgon soon. Just saying.
Then let's into the world of Middle-earth, where Cubicle 7's Adventures in Middle-earth Player's Guide is now available.
We talked about this. It's been a while since we talked about it, actually, but the hardcover edition of the book is still coming out later this fall. But right now, you can get the PDF version. If you did pre-order, I should say, the hardcover edition of the book, you will get the PDF for free. You should have gotten an email from Cubicle 7 with a code that would let you get the PDF for free over on RPG Now. If you did not pre-order, you can order the PDF for $19.99 over on RPG Now. And this, of course, is the player's guide to bringing Middle-earth into 5e. It lists the different classes you can be, different races you can be, kind of gives you some hints on how you can do adventures and the stuff you might face. What they are calling the Lore Master's book, which is basically the Dungeon Master's Guide, is set to come out this fall, early winter. So this is just the player's side of it. It does include 11 specific playable cultures, 6 new unique classes, 13 new backgrounds custom-made for Middle-earth appropriate arms and armor, a unique journey rules, new rules for what they are calling the corruption system, and they are calling some other new rules called audience rules, which I'm not sure what those are. I have not actually read this yet. I did get a review copy of this today. They sent me a code. I have not read it yet, though, so I can't tell you what some of the stuff is yet. But look for a review soon. But yes, so head over to RPG Now and get this, because everybody wants Tolkien in D&D.
I can see that. Looks like Schmog has seen better days based on that cover.
Yeah, it looks like Gandalf's just kind of hanging out like he usually does, and Smog's kind of dying behind him, and he's like, that's me. I'm the only wizard left in the world, and I just killed Smog, so...
But wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Something's wrong with that picture.
Uh-oh. Pine Leaf logic coming in 3, 2, 1, go.
I think it's time to head off to the next item, where the Storm King's Thunder Adventure League a great upheaval, yes, free. It's free?
It is free, and what this is, you remember when Curse of Strahd came out? They had the Death House, which would let you get your characters from level 1 to level 3 to get them ready to go into the Curse of Strahd storyline.
Right.
This is the same thing for the Storm King's Thunder storyline. This will get you players from level 1 to level 5. This is an optional way to do it. There is also other ways that, of course, you can get your players from 1 to 5, but this is set in the Storm King's Thunder storyline. It kind of weaves into the storyline. As I said, it's basically what Death House was to Curse of Strahd. This is Storm King's Thunder, and the PDF is actually free over on the Dungeon Masters Guild site.
Very well, then. Have you thought of any nice Christmas gifts for your favorite D&D players yet?
I have not, but I thought of a nice Christmas gift that somebody could get me. Hint, hint to all my hint, hint, hint. Yes, WizKids. It's actually coming out with a Red Dragon trophy plaque. And,
wow.
And it sounds exactly like what it is. It's a red dragon head that is on a shield that you mount on your wall. Because who wouldn't want that? And if you look at it, it looks pretty amazing. People in the chat room, you won't see this, but people, I guess I could link it here in a second. But people that are watching the YouTube version of this, you'll see it. If you listen to the podcast version, click over the show notes, and you can see this. The thing weighs like 14 to 16 pounds.
Hey, you know it's heavy when they say we recommend that you install it on a structural element, such as a 2x4 wall stud.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a little flimsy thing that you can hang on your wall. It's 34 by 18 by 25, and as I said, weighs approximately 14 to 16 pounds. But this thing is amazing looking. Of course, it has an amazing $300 price tag on it as well.
Yeah. Now, the question is, does it breathe fire?
You know, that would be awesome. WizKids, work on that for the second edition of this.
So
Of course.
Hopefully it doesn't violate any fire codes if they do add that feature.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But of course, then they might, have some problems with like fire codes and maybe some lawsuits from like burning people's houses down. Little small things like that.
Little small things like that. And so from the top of the trophies, let's then head to the tabletop and help support Rob's hearing of Insert Here fundraising auctions.
And if you were not familiar with who Mr. Rob Searing is, he runs a website called Insert Here. And what he does is he makes custom inserts for your tabletop games. So you all know how there is tabletop games that have a ton of little meeples and cards and dice and what have you for the game. And usually they don't really give you any way to store them in the box. Well, Rob figures out these little custom inserts that you can replace the inserts that are in your box and put them in your box, and it stores all of your pieces. He does really amazing work, and he recently posted over on his site, "Hey there, everyone. I'm trying to raise some funds to help raise money, mainly due to a diagnosis I received of that having polyps on my vocal cords. At first, they were diagnosed as being benign, but they kept returning and have impacted my ability to speak. I will hopefully be undergoing surgery where they will remove via laser the polyps and screen them. I have put together this auction to help cover the cost of the procedure." And if you don't want to participate in the auction, you can also donate to him via his PayPal, which we will link. However, I've tried to put together some really cool gaming items, most of which not only come with sleeve cards, but also the copy of the custom inserts that he has done. And some of the games that are included on this are Pay Dirt, 504, let's see, lost my place. Sorry. Battlelore, Spectre Ops, Acquire, Trains and Trains, plus the Rising Sun expansion, Abyss and Abyss Kraken, Alien Uprising, Darkest Night Necromancer Bundle, the Fury of Dracula 3rd Edition, and the Touch of Evil and expansions. So click over on this link, help Rob out. He is a good guy, and I did say it in my post. I know one thing about the tabletop community is we always usually tend to band together and help those in the tabletop community that need help. So this is a way to do it and also get some cool board games with some cool inserts as well.
For most, I thought you were going to say the Fury of Draculetta.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And let's see, I did put a bid on that, but I'm sure I got outbid. Let's see. Let me scroll down and see. I did. I got outbid because it is currently up to $61 now for Fury of Dracula.
Oh, well.
Darkest Night is at $25. So most of these started at $20 and went up from there. So it's just a cool way to help Rob out and maybe get some cool games and some cool inserts. So click over and check that out.
All right. I have to assume that Apollo 13 is a cooperative game. I can't imagine that being a competitive game.
It is a co-op, actually.
Okay.
You are correct.
All right, then let's head into Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel, who has a live Kickstarter.
Yes, it went live and funded within 4 hours.
So, well,
that's... people went...
One of those fast ones.
Yes, people went crazy for this. This is from Modafius Entertainment, and they're taking us back into the Citadel. The Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel is based on the board game from the late 80s. Actually, it was early 90s is when it originally came out. Siege of the Citadel. This is a miniature tactical game where you are just going in and killing mutants. So who doesn't want to do that?
Blast, 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 blast.
This is a massive box set miniatures game. It's going to have 40 sculpts, some double-sided tiles, and new creatures. And this is the second edition of the game, so they're going to update some of the rules and just make it even more awesome than the original was. And as I said, this did fund within 4 hours, and it is still just making money hand over fist, basically, and those stretch goals are dropping. Speaking of stretch goals, the first one was to bring out the Brotherhood expansion, and that stretch goal has been funded as well now, too. So if you go in on the $149 Dark Legion pledge level, you will receive the Brotherhood expansion for the Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel. And the Kickstarter has, as of this recording, let me click over and see, 25 days to go.
All right.
And they are well over their goal. And as I said, stretch goals keep falling. Basically, I think one just fell right now as we were talking. So that's how well this is going. And this is a 1 to 5 player game.
All right. Is this the co-op or
yes. Well, it can be the co-op or competitive.
Oh, okay. Because I'm trying to think, because the original game couldn't have possibly have been a co-op considering when it was released. So they obviously had to do some changes. So maybe the competitive rules might be very close to what they were originally, and the co-op rules are something new to it then.
Yes. It's one of those, it depends how you want to play it, or as me and my friends we would turn it into a let's screw each other game, because that's what we do, as it's well established.
Right. And it seems to be like an all-star cast of designers here.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Borg, Kevin Wilson, Eric Lang, and Jay Little.
Yeah, that is pretty much, if there's been a board game that came out within the past probably 2 years, one of these gentlemen had designed the game. So this game is going to be freaking awesome.
Well, actually, there have been cases of games not being successful despite some of the teams that you think, there's no way this could fail.
Well, that is very true. That is usually the kiss of death, though, when they say, oh, there's no way we could fail with X designing the game.
Yeah.
I played a game like that, but I won't tell you the title because reasons. All
right, let's then head into our next item. Brotherhood expansion is announced for Mutant Chronicles Siege of Citadel. I think
we already talked about that.
You just talked about that.
I combined the two. I mix things up on you.
All right, so let's head into Mask of Anubis, the world's first virtual reality board game.
That's right. Everybody was clamoring for a virtual reality board game, and now
we were.
It is here. Well, I'm just saying, plainly, just saying. What this is there has been rumors of an unexcavated pyramid, which you, Professor B. Gammon, have discovered that houses the king's chamber, which could contain the riches of the ancient god Anubius. Together with your assistants, Senieto, which of course is a dog, you attempt to navigate the ancient pyramid maze to locate the treasure. Unfortunately, the entrance is only barely large enough for your trusty dog to enter. So unable to enter the maze yourself, you send your poor little puppy in. And what you will do is you will need at least 2 players to play this game. 1 player is going to put on the Mask of Anubius. So you're going to actually put a mask on your head, and then you're going to take your smartphone, put your smartphone in the mask so you can see the screen, and then you're going to get an app, and then the player that is wearing the mask is going to describe what they're seeing, and then the other player is going to have to take the tiles and design the pyramid with the instructions of what the other person is seeing through the Mask of Anubius. That is why it is the world's first virtual reality game. It's designed for 2 to 7 players. Should play between 30 and 60 minutes to play. I did put a little trailer up over on the site. You can pre-order it. The little caveat to this is a Japanese game. So they said some of it will be in English, but most of it is in Japanese. So I hope you can read Japanese, because if not, you're going to have fun trying to figure out what does this card say?
Well, it is. I don't think there are too many people in this country that know how to read Japanese.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, let's then go to something a little bit more American in style. And what could be more American than the ogres crunching in through your doorstep?
A little tank-on-tank action, as it were, finally.
Yeah.
Yes, 40 years ago, back in 1977, Steve Jackson brought us that little war game called Ogre.
And it was literally one that could fit in your pocket.
Exactly. It was a little war game. Oh my, how times have changed.
And that was actually one of the first true microgames that there were.
Is that right?
Well, it was number one of the microgame series that was done by Metagaming. It was the first of their series of microgames on there. Actually, yeah, Steve Jackson did number one. He also did number three was Melee, which was also a Steve Jackson design. And I can't think of a microgame that was before it because all the ones I've seen came after that. See? I mean, there might have been some small ones. I'm sure someone could probably come up with one that was earlier or something like this. But the one that I think really hit them onto the scene, I think, was Ogre.
And, of course, this now brings the game into its 6th edition.
6th edition?
Believe it or not. This version is designed to be compatible with the massive Ogre Designers Edition, which was released in 2013 via a Kickstarter. It's going to use the same game board and have over 58 sized encounters of the game units. Also going to feature 2 new constructible 3D ogres and 2 command posts. 6th edition will also include 16 new map overlays that can be used to create new custom scenarios and a pair of new dice. Manufacturer's retail price on this is going to be $49.95, and Steve Jackson Games will also be offering a new free smartphone app that will help you in gameplay because it will track the condition of your ogre for you. So look for this January 2017. More Ogre.
19mm dice. Okay, ogre-sized dice, yes.
Exactly.
All right, then let's go into something else related to Steve Jackson because Munchkin Grim Tidings. Ooh.
Okay, now let me start off by saying I love Munchkin. I love Munchkin. I love playing Munchkin. My friends and I love playing Munchkin because that's like pretty much the ultimate screw-over game.
Right.
But how many editions of Munchkin do we really need?
We do have a few. But then, of course, what big munchkin-y ears you've got.
Exactly, because this is bringing the fairy tales of the Brothers Grimm into the Munchkin universe. Of course, the Brothers Grimms are full of magic, deception, and violence, so that's perfect for Munchkin, right? And the other, odd thing about this is, where do you think you could go to buy Munchkin Grim Tidings, finally? If you wanted to go buy this tomorrow, where would you go to buy this at?
Well, based on past history of some weird things, Target?
No. How about Walgreens drugstores?
What?
This is an exclusive to Walgreens drugstores.
Walgreens?
Yeah. I read that in the press release, and I'm like, What? Okay, I've seen it all now. Yeah, see, at first I thought, this is going to be another Target because the press release just said, and a new exclusive, Munchkin coming, and then I, got into the meat of the press release, and I was reading it. It's like Brothers Grimm, yada, yada, violence, fairy tales. It sounds awesome, yada, yada, yada. Find it at Walgreens only. I didn't realize Walgreens was everywhere. I mean, I knew they were a pretty decent-sized drugstore chain, but...
I would have thought it was going to be in a drugstore, it would have been a CVS.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so if you find yourself in Walgreens and you're strolling down the aisle, find the toy section, and you too can pick up Munchkin Grim Tidings. By the time this podcast is released on Wednesday, it should ought to be out. I think the release date was either Tuesday or Wednesday, and we're recording this on Monday, September the 12th, so it should be out on Wednesday the 14th. If you just so happen to find yourself in a Walgreens.
If I just so happen to be, I'm not even sure I've ever been in a Walgreens.
Well, pick up Munchkin Grim Tidings the next time you're there.
The next time I'm there.
Maybe that'll be your excuse for your first trip, finally.
All right. I would first have to figure out where there is one at. Now, we talked about earlier about some really successful Kickstarters, but not all Kickstarters are hugely successful.
Yeah, poor little Buccaneer card game. Everything sounds cool about this game. It's built as the game for people that like pirates, treasure maps, storms, and monkeys. So it's got all four of the cool things in life. What's better than a monkey and a pirate? Right? The object of the game is you are creating sets of cards whose total is going to equal 11. The cards have numbers 1, 3, 5, 8, and 10 on them, and there's also action cards, which can be played on other players to disrupt that player's plans, so basically your good screw-over game. That might even make them skip their turn or take a card from your hand or take a die from somebody else's hand or what have you. But basically your goal is you're trying to get your cards to equal 11 and then you can get the treasure. The Kickstarter is up now. Been up for about 4 days. It's currently at like $200. So I kind of feel sorry for this, and it looks like this is not a company. It's just like a guy called Chris Schmidt is the guy that is actually creating this game. So you got 31 days left. He's got $10,000 goal. Chris, good luck, buddy, because
you're gonna need it.
It's not looking too good for your Buccaneer game here, Chris. We wish you all the best, but yeah.
Well, then, let's see how we did in our weekend game. Hopefully we did better than Buccaneer.
Well, that would be kind of hard not to. Once again, sorry, Chris. We hope you hit your goal, but hope you got a backup plan. That's all I'm saying. They all can't be winners, finally.
Yeah.
But in Game This Week in DDO... Hey, everybody, it's Drac here in Post. Just wanted to make a quick note that said... I don't know what I was thinking when I was talking about this. The quest I was talking about was Taming the Flames, not the Forgotten Caverns. Once again, the quest is Taming the Flames. I guess I tried to block it out of my memory. Sorry, back to the show. I did my level 10 rogue with my friend who is playing his wizard. We haven't played for a while, so we decided to hop in. We were trying to figure out what we were going to do. He found out that he had some House Kendaric quests that we had never done yet. We had picked them up, but never did them. So we did the Lair of Summoning, the Chamber of Insanity, and Taming the Flames. We did those all on Elite because they are level 5 based quest. And then the only one we had left was the Forgotten Caverns. And if you're not familiar with what the Forgotten Caverns is, that is the quest where you have to go in and rescue the wizard guy, where there's all the fire elementals and all of that insanity that happens in there. So we were running all these quests, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and do this on Elite. We should be all right, because it was like, put the quest up to, like, I think level 9. So we're like, fine. And then we got in the quest, and I'm like, oh, crap, it's this quest. Yeah, we got it handed to us, like, just handed to us. And I'm like, yeah, okay, TPK, let's reset this and do it on hard. So we did it on hard, and we were all right. But that quest, if you are not prepared, is just insanity on Elite. Because you have to have enough fire resist, because there's all those fire elementals, there's all sorts of other crazy things that happen in that quest, so yeah. I always forget, like, how I dislike that quest on Elite. I don't mind it on normal or hard.
Oh, you keep on failing your evasion checks?
Yes. And I'm like, and I don't have any fire resist, because I usually don't build my characters for fire resist, because you normally, well, I'm going to say this, and I know people are just going to yell, you're a moron, of course you need fire resist. But usually I find you don't need that much fire resist. You usually have somebody in your party that can just, like, buff you, and you have enough, at least how I play, because I'm just a casual player.
Oh, you had no one in your party that...
No, we didn't have any fire resist at all. So, bad quest to go into without fire resist. So, word to the wise, take fire resist in that quest. And Bonnie B is in the chat, and she's saying, okay, show us on the doll where the elementals touched you. In the bad places, Bonnie, in all of the bad places. And then the only other thing I did this week, not in game, that's really all I did in DDO this week. I had a busy week outside of DDO. Did do some 5e tabletop. Finished up the Suits of the Mist adventure with my friend and his 2 sons. We ran 2 of the 4 adventures. Those are 1-hour adventures, so you can choose to do them all, or you can just run them, because they're Adventure League adventures, so that's how they're set up. We did 2 of those. I almost killed the druid. And once again, this is a party that I'm not trying to kill. And so far, 2 weeks in a row, I've almost killed one of them. So, yay, I guess. They ended up keeping some gems. They were basically hired to go collect some gems that were stolen, and they were supposed to bring them back for a reward. Well, they found out they were worth like double the amount. Actually, it was like triple the amount on the black market if they sold them versus turning them in. So, yeah, they kept the gems, sold them on the black market, made a ton of money, and they also hit level 2.
And they have a client that's after them?
No, because they actually left that area now, so they are nowhere to be found. So the dude's like, what happened to my gems? What happened to the people I hired to get my gems? They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. So now they're level 2 and now they're rich, and his like 2 sons were like all excited because they're like, ooh, I'm going to buy this and I'm going to buy this. And I'm like, ooh, no, you're not, because that's a magical weapon and you can't buy magical weapons. So sucks to be you, kid. So yeah, see, the evil GM of me came out again, I tell you.
Yeah, you can't keep it at bay.
That's right. And I'm telling you, I'm like killing them, and I'm not even trying. And I'm like, why can't I kill my other party? I'm trying to kill them. I never even come close. These people, I'm not trying to kill, and it's like one roll, and like, because like, well, it doesn't help the poor. Well, he'll have more hit points now because he leveled up, but the poor druid only had like 8 hit points, and like one attack I did on him was like 10 points, and I'm like, dude, I'm like, I killed. Well, I didn't really kill you. He was just doing his death saves, but I'm like, ouch. Like one attack, I can like knock you down to 0. That's like not good. So luckily they're level 2 now, so. I should actually have to hit them more than once to kill them. It depends what they fight, because in 2 weeks we're going to start on the Storm King's Thunder storyline. So they're going to go players from Giants.
Ooh.
So we'll see how that goes. And then the other thing I did is I did some tabletop playing for some feature reviews that you will see on the site soon. And that was for the Networks, which a quick little description of the Networks is it is a card game where you are in charge of a television network. And you need to get your shows, your stars, and your ads. And you have to make sure that to get the most bang for your buck, as it were, certain stars do better on certain shows. So, like, if it's an action star, he'll make more money if he's on an action show versus if he's on a comedy show. So you kind of have to plan all that out. You, like, play it in seasons, which are year-round. So that's that game. It's pretty fun.
Okay. Now, my question is this then based on how networks were back in the 80s, or is this based on modern, all these micro networks that we have today?
It's based on well, it's kind of hard to explain. Think of it as like a cable access channel that turned into a big network is the easiest way I can describe
it. A cable access channel that turned into a big network.
You'll understand when I do my review why I say that. I don't want to spoil stuff about it right now.
Okay.
In the review, you'll see why. The other tabletop game I played is a game called Islebound, which you are commanding a ship and a crew, and you're sailing from island towns to towns, collecting resources, hiring crew, and commissioning buildings for your new capital city.
I believe Rado did a run-through on that one.
And, of course, the player with the most wealth and most impressive capital, city wins the game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course. So we will do a review on that. And then the last one I did was a little game called Ice Cool. And what this is it's a dexterity game where you have little penguins that, if you're familiar with what weevils are, do you remember weevils back in the 80s?
You mean weevils that wobble but they don't fall down?
Exactly. These little penguins are like little weevils. And these penguins are in the school, and they're skipping class to go collect fish. So you're trying to collect the most fish, but then there is hall monitors that are trying to catch you. So what you need to do is you need to flick with your finger, actually physically flick the penguin from room to room. and you can actually bounce them off of the walls. So where they'll like bounce off a wall and they might jump up and like jump over the wall into another room and maybe end up going through 2 doors on one flick. So it's kind of a dexterity game like that. It's really fun. And this is a very unique game in the fact that it is a box within a box within a box within a box. The boxes make the playing board, which turns into the school, which actually has rooms.
Okay.
I have never seen a game do this with their boxes, but it's amazing what they've done.
Oh, what is this a Russian design?
I am not sure. I do believe it is. It's either Russia or Belgium.
It just sounds like something a Russian will do.
Yeah, I think it actually is Russian. But, yeah, so basically, like I said, you are flicking your little penguin weevil, and they weeble and they wobble, but they never fall down. They just go flying through the school.
Right. Do you know that if I had this game, how long it will take me to lose something?
Not very long, probably.
Not very long.
Yeah, really fun game. So look for the full review coming soon. So that's basically what I did. How about you, Pine Leaf? What were you up to?
All right, well, we'll begin with my half-elf warlock who is doing the Temple of Elemental Evil for the monthly ritual there. I went through part 2 of the temple, so I cleared out all of the pre-node area. So I went through all that, cleared, because you don't have to clear it all out, but I made sure I thoroughly cleaned it all out. And then I got selected to fire. And if you're on a warlock, fire is actually probably one of the easiest ones to do. Or at least if you're a Phalok, it is.
I would kind of say if you're on a warlock, anything would be easy to do. Oh, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know, because I find air to be a real pain. And I haven't done water much, but if you've got water breathing, I guess that could also help with that one. But the fire is, because I absolutely no trouble with fire at all, because I just make sure I have my elemental buff in there. And so I managed to clear out all of the fire wing, even after I got to the point where I discovered everything and was ready to go into the chamber. I still decided to go back, clear it all out, then go back to, as an enter into Zuggtmoy's chamber for the inevitable death that results on that, because
you still haven't beat Zuggtmoy yet?
Nah, I still haven't beaten Zuggtmoy.
Oh, Pine Leaf.
Maybe someday I'll do on there. But yeah, Zuggtmoy is a real pain. It's usually because whenever those mushrooms pop up that you're supposed to go under to keep from being killed, I can never see the mushrooms when they pop up.
Well, that could be a problem then.
So yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
That would lend to your death, probably.
That plus the fact that double destruction spell that she throws on you isn't exactly good for your health either.
No, she's kind of nasty.
She is kind of nasty. But I think I did actually manage to get through that longer than on most of my characters. But this is on the half-elf, which has been doing pretty well in Temple relative to some of the other characters. Certainly a lot better than our Warforged did. And then on my Wolflock, I went into House of Neath for the Depths of Darkness, and when I'm finishing that up, I hit level 5, and so I took that as a 3rd Druid level. Now, I usually don't talk about Lotro things on here because since I've got another show where I talk about those, but I decided to put in that on Lotro, I did participate in a poetry contest.
And how did you do?
Not too well, but...
Really? That's surprising.
Well, who knows? The winner had a transformation love story, and you do good poem with a transformation love story, those things. You're going to hit a few heartstrings in there. Those are tough to beat when they're done well.
Well, true.
And it looks like that Laurelin, which is the server where it was held, has a lot of poets on there. And then in Minecraft, I decided to do a survey around my territory because we have this territory that we've all staked out for ourselves. I had never gone around to look at it. So therefore, I started to put lights around the various locations in there so I get an idea what my border is. And I got to say that it's a real pain when someone decides that everybody gets circular bases for their definition of their territory. This is Minecraft, the most circle unfriendly game on the planet, and you define our territory. And the ones who created the server decide, okay, you have circular territory. So yeah, it's very hard to put lights on the border when you're trying to go around in a circle instead of in a square, because Minecraft is a lot more square friendly than circle friendly. Then on the tabletop, I played a new game that's just come out called Pandemic: The Rise of Cthulhu.
I tell you, you just can't keep that Cthulhu down, can you?
Oh no, definitely not. And so Cthulhu is now breaking into the world of Pandemic. So I decided to try this with. Okay, you're familiar with Pandemic?
Of course.
Okay, so therefore, instead of your medical team, you've got investigators. So therefore, I decided to try 2 investigators, and I took the easiest setting for the game. Since it's my first time trying, and let's get to know the rules and all that stuff. And in round 1, looked like things were going very bad at the start, because after round 1, I already had 3 old ones on the board. Now, if you get 7 old ones, number 7 is Cthulhu, who comes out and just says, "Oh, you're gone." If I had 3 old ones already on the board after 2 turns.
Oh, good grief!
It was like, well, that was a kick in the teeth, and whenever an old one comes out, an effect happens as a result of them. So therefore, to make the game harder, like for example, the first one was that when you do the walk location, because this is taking place in the 4 towns associated with Cthulhu, in Arkham.
Okay.
It's, Kingsport, Dunwich, and Innsmouth. And so therefore, instead of a drive ferry action, it's a walk action. And so therefore, a walk action with 2 or more cultists, then you have to defeat one of the cultists. In other words, having at least 2 cultists blocks you. The cultists are what replace the disease cubes in this game.
Oh, all right. That makes sense.
And then on my second one, they says, okay, remove 3 cultists from the supply. Now, of course, like in regular Pandemic, if you run out of cultists and you need to place another one, you lose the game. So therefore, that makes it tougher. And then the third one was that sealing gates requires an additional clue card from a connecting town. It'd be sort of like how in Pandemic, of course, instead of sealing gates, you're trying to cure diseases. It's sort of like saying, oh, yes, you need another one of the disease cue cards in addition to the cards you need for curing this disease in order to do it. So therefore, all these things, and by turn 3, I had these extra things all on me. And somehow, though, because I had all that stuff hitting me on the head early on, I had a little bit of a break before the next pounding came on. So therefore, I did manage to pull off barely scrape by with a win there.
Bonnie in the chat room is saying, and that was easy mode?
Yeah, that was easy mode.
Good grief.
Well, yeah, that's it. Well, actually, being on easy mode probably did help a little because you would get your Evil Lurks cards, which are the equivalent to the Epidemic cards, a little bit more quickly. So therefore, if they come through a little bit faster, then yeah. So it could have made a difference there. So it looked like as luck had it, my last Evil Lurks card was way at the bottom of the deck. So being in easy mode probably did help a little bit there.
So I know you've only played it the one time, but do you think the Cthulhu theme fits well with Pandemic, though? Did they do a good job at reskinning Pandemic?
I think it really works well. They changed the event cards into relics. Of course, if you use a relic, then you have to make a sanity roll when you use it because you can't have a Cthulhu game without sanity. And all the characters have that if you go insane, then you flip your character over so your abilities change a little bit. Because when you're insane, so they have a slight modification to there. So you still have character, but your character is slightly altered as a result. And yes, sealing gates instead of curing diseases, that. So the mechanism is similar, but it very, very fits because every time I see a Cthulhu board game, it seems like sealing gates is a very integral part of the whole thing.
Usually, yes, it does.
Yeah.
And Bonnie in the chat is asking, how does it compare with playing Elder Sign?
Well, the only one of those that I have played was actually Arkham Horror. I haven't actually played Elder Sign because by the time I heard about it, because I had this break in gaming for a while, and Elder Sign came out right during that break, and I believe it has been super expensive and out of print for quite a while.
It has indeed.
So therefore, I've never played Elder Sign. I heard that Elder Sign is sort of a easier to digest version of Arkham Horror.
Yeah, I could see why that would. Yeah, that makes sense in saying that.
Or so some people play that because they feel that Arkham Horror is too long, which, Arkham Horror is a bit long, which is...
Yeah. Well, it can be, I guess.
Yeah, I will say that if I were given a choice playing Arkham Horror or Pandemic Rise of Cthulhu, I would definitely do Rise of Cthulhu because I can fit it. I could more likely fit that within my play time because we're talking, 6 hours for Arkham Horror versus less than an hour for Rise of Cthulhu. And that is it. So let's go into donations. We currently have 24 supporters on Patreon. And if you'd like to support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us here on DDO Players News. And we have an email, right?
We do, and it's directed towards you, Pine Leaf.
What?
It's from Kirkos, and the title of the email was Pine Leaf Can Redeem Himself.
Uh-huh.
And Kirkos says, Labyrinth is showing for its 30th anniversary for 2 nights only in select theaters. So do it!
Well, first off, I noticed that I did not hear about this until today. And if you look at things, it looks like that the one of the showings was yesterday.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well.
Blah, 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 blah. Excuses, excuses, excuses.
Well, let's see. According to my local theater listing here, the next showing, well, there is one that's while I'm working, and the other one is at the same time we're playing DDO.
Okay, well, see, the way you can redeem yourself then is buy the 30th anniversary Blu-ray, which is coming out soon on September the 20th. So you need to go over to Amazon, buy the 30th anniversary Blu-ray, watch it, and then you'll be redeemed, finally.
All right, I will see what I can do about it.
All right. You heard it here first, folks. And Brack Bearfeet in the chat is saying, go to your local library. They probably have it on DVD. See? No excuses, Pine Leaf.
Well, I guess there is always the local library. I'll have to see what's available there. The Players Alliance has 5 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. Every Thursday at 8 p.m.-ish p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locha Players News. Every other Saturday after Locha Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Saturday of each month at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Locha Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pine Leaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.